So we all remember what happened the last time the Saints and the Bears played, and if not, I think this will remind you. So this will be interesting. Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to another in-depth prediction video, the fifth of the six wild card matchups. And this one, as you saw, could get interesting. These from the clip could get a little feisty, but that might be the only entertainment coming from this game. But yeah. Anyway, hope you all are doing amazing. Today, I'm going to talk about my thought process through this game. Why I think certain teams, why I think the Bears will win, why I think the Saints will win. Yeah, it's fairly simple stuff. And like in addition to why I think they'll win, why I think they'll lose, and at the end, my prediction. Yeah, let's go ahead and get right into this. Starting off with the Chicago Bears. Why will the Bears win? Well, it's pretty simple. Their defense. I mean, you look at the defense. You got Akeem Hicks, Kahlil Mack, Roquan Smith, Danny Trevathan, Robert Quinn, Eddie Jackson, and Kyle Fuller. I mean, it doesn't get too much better than that. I get it does, but still, like that is definitely the strong point of the Chicago Bears team. There's no doubt about that. It's been the strongest part since 85, 86. Yeah, the Bears defense will be the reason why they would win this game. Another reason is David Montgomery has picked it up a bit. While his stats in general aren't just tremendous, over the last couple last little bit, he's been playing all right. He's not been playing too bad, and will definitely be a key part. Will need to be an important part if this offense is to succeed. Opening up the passing game through the running game, that will be David Montgomery's role in today's game. Speaking of the passing game, Allen Robinson is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. You can't argue it. He is. He is one of the best receivers in the NFL. I'm not going to say top five, but he's definitely a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. At least I would think. I can't. My mind is also so great I can't list 10 wide receivers off the top of my head. That's not true. But yeah, Allen Robinson is an amazing wide receiver. He will be the second best player for the Bears today. At least he will be their best offensive player today. Their defense should play fairly well, but he will be the best offensive player. There's no doubt about it. But the only doubt that would come from it is if it's from the quarterback, and a lot of people say that the Bears quarterbacks suck. They're not good. I'm going to say they're not good. Nick Foles is bad. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say Nick Foles is bad. Mitch Trubisky is not bad. Mitch Trubisky is not that bad. Is he Pro Bowl worthy? Absolutely not. No, he's average. He's played in, what was it, half the games? I'm not certain. But he's how many games he played in? He's played in 10 games. And in those 10 games, he's thrown for 2,055 yards, 16 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and a 61.9 QBR. Now, while none of those stats really are impressive, none of them are. He's been in a QB controversy his entire career, basically. But to start off the year, he went 5-1. To start the year, the Bears were 5-1. And then Nick Foles came in and they ended up 8-8. Like, the Bears are a mess, but they've gotten decent quarterback play from Mitch Trubisky, and I like what I've seen a little bit from him this year. But overall, like he's decent, and could be if he plays decent, that could be enough to push the Bears over the top. Now, what about the Saints? If I'm being honest, this was a lot easier to do. It was a lot easier to find reasons for the Saints. Reason number one, Alvin Kamara. 6 touchdowns in a game, need I say more? Number two, they've been winning. They're the number 2 seed in the NFC. Not at full strength. The one that comes to mind is Michael Thomas. He's been in and out. He hasn't played in every single game, and yet they still dominate. Drew Brees at times. Fairly recently, he's been out with an injury, and they've had to go through Taysom Hill. Yeah, I was about to say James Winston. He hasn't played too much, if really at all. Quan Alexander and DJ Swearinger on the defense have been out for a little bit, yet the Saints still win. Imagine what they can do at full strength. This team is dangerous. Okay, even at half, not full strength, this team could. This team is good. This team is extremely talented and could beat. They're definitely one of the best teams in the NFL. Another reason they will win is they average 2.8 sacks per game, which is 8th in the league. Their defense, the pass rush led by Cameron Jordan on the defensive line, and Sheldon Rankins too. They can put pressure. Trey Hendrickson has had his games where he's played very good. He is listed as out now, which would put Marcus Davenport in, which still is not bad. This team is just really stacked. The defense, the pass rush is very good, and then they are third in forcing turnovers per game. So even if the offense, like with the shaky quarterback play, which I'll get to in a little bit, even if the offense doesn't always convert, the defense, there's a good chance they get the ball back for them. But so that's why I think each team will win. That's like their strengths, I guess you could say, for the Bears. I guess you could say strengths. But why the Bears will lose? This was a bit easier. This was easy. Number one, their inconsistent offense. Would it be anything else? I mean, it starts with the quarterback play. I honestly think if they had started Mitch Trubisky throughout the entire year, they would not be the 7th seed. They'd be the 6th seed. But they would have had a much better season. People would have respected him more. But it just, not that Trubisky is great and would have played better, but the consistency. Like when you use 2 quarterbacks, it doesn't help the actual quarterbacks. The coach may think it helps the team, adding like a different style of quarterback play, or hoping for a spark or something. I don't really think it helps. In fact, it hurts the quarterbacks as they go, like, they know, because they know if they make one mistake, they're done. Like, they have another quarterback to go back in, so it really doesn't hurt. So if Nagy had full confidence in Trubisky and told him, you are the starter, granted, no one ever thought that was going to happen, but if it were to happen, I think this team would have been better. But it didn't, and their offense has been extremely shaky. Montgomery hasn't always been great. Allen Robinson's been pretty consistent, but all their other receivers, not great. Cole Kmet's had some good games. Jimmy Graham's had some good games, but nothing really consistent on the offensive side. And while I did talk praises over of the defense earlier, it also hasn't been superb. It wasn't the same defense in Trubisky's rookie year, in Kahlil Mack's first year there. It's not that defense. It's still very good, but it's nothing superb. It's not the Steelers defense. It's not the Rams defense. It's not even the Reds. I'm sorry. It's not even the football team's defense. But yeah, it's still a good. It's a great defense, but it hasn't been where it will need to be if the Bears want to win. Next, they are 29th in interceptions thrown per game with 1, which isn't horrible, but against the Saints, they're 29th in interceptions thrown per game already. They're going up against a team that is 3rd in turnovers per game, and forcing turnovers. How do you think that's going to play out? There's no way. I do not think Mitch Trubisky throws less than 2 interceptions. I can almost guarantee Trubisky throws at least 2 interceptions. And then finally, they are 22nd in the league in first downs per game. They average 21 first downs a game. If you can't keep the ball away from this Saints offense, you're done. You're done. They're more, if the more you give the ball up, the more likely your opponent's going to score, no matter how bad they are. You could be playing the Jets. If you can't convert on your 4 tries, the Jets will score. Maybe. The Jags would probably score. Anyway, against a Saints team that is this good, 21 first downs ain't going to cut it. It's just not. You need to keep the ball. You need to convert more than that. But yeah, that's why I think the Bears will lose. There were some fairly easy things for me to come up with. But honestly, now we're talking about the Saints. I'm going to be honest, this took 30 to 45 minutes for me to come up with these reasons for why the Saints would lose. Mainly because I wanted to get 4 to keep it even. I probably should have stopped at 3. But anyway, inconsistent quarterback play. I was talking earlier about the rotating quarterbacks. I read somewhere, it was just a headline, so it could have been false. I haven't seen anything since, so this could be completely inaccurate, but I'm going to say it anyway because I need something to say. That Sean Payton was considering having a rotating quarterback system between Brees and Hill. I think that is the dumbest thing he can do. I get Drew Brees is old. He is still better than Taysom Hill. Sure, have Taysom Hill maybe runs like a wildcat play. Please don't have him throw, though. Please, keep Drew Brees in to throw. He is still a much better thrower than Taysom Hill is. While Drew hasn't been his normal self this year, I don't think, unless that's just me actually not realizing how good he's been. Yeah, he hasn't been great this year. Just under 3,000 yards, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. The 6 interceptions really good. But the touchdowns not great. The yards not great. But yeah, the inconsistent quarterback play could hurt the Saints in this game, especially against a Bears defense, which is pretty dang good. They are forced into a lot of third downs, 13 per game, which is the 10th highest in the NFL. So that's not great. They do, I checked, they do convert most of them. But still, they're forced into a lot of third downs. You can see how specific I'm getting trying to find something wrong. But yeah, they'll probably be forced into about 13, I would think, for this game, third downs, because the rushing defense on this Bears team is very good. But yeah, convert more on first and second down. Yeah. Next, they need to control the penalties. This one's actually a bit more serious. 6.1 penalties per game. That is 24th in the league. It can hurt. Will it hurt against this Bears team? Maybe, maybe not. But with if they're playing someone with a high-powered offense and a weaker defense, I don't know. Let's say the Packers. then that can hurt. That could really hurt. But in this game, the penalties could force it to be a lower scoring affair. I don't know. I would still favor the Saints, but these penalties could hurt drives early. We saw with the Seahawks yesterday, where they had a drive started off well, but then it got called back for a 15-yard penalty for a holding. Then a false start, which ended up being 1st and 25. An obvious pass play. Aaron Donald gets in for a sack, takes them all the way down to the 1. It was bad. I would say due to the penalties. So the penalties can make a team stumble. We did see. So they definitely need to control the penalties. The another thing they need to control is their fumbles. They fumble way too much. They're averaging 1.7 per game, which is 31st in the league. I was surprised by that. Alvin Kamara, I thought, was better than that. Actually, I don't necessarily know if it is all of his. If he fumbles 1.7 per game times per game, but the Saints as a team. No, he's only fumbled once. Who the heck fumbles then? Or did I just get this completely wrong? I honestly don't know. I think as a team they fumble 1.7 times per game. I thought that's what the stat said. Well. No, they do, because I'm an idiot. See, I forgot other players touch the ball. Like receivers and Taysom Hill. My apologies. Yeah, they do need to control their fumbles. 1.7 per game is way too much. And the Bears can force fumbles. They do, specifically when I think forcing fumbles, I think one of the best players in football, Kahlil Mack, Akeem Hicks can force fumbles. I don't know how great their secondary is at forcing fumbles, but interceptions, granted, that's not necessarily a problem for the Saints. But fumbles, they fumble too much. But my prediction, I'm gonna get right to it. The Saints are gonna win. I maybe the Bears could win. Maybe maybe their defense plays superb, and they get I dare say good quarterback play from Mitch Trubisky. I dare say it, as opposed to the decency we're used to. But I doubt that happens, and I think the Saints will win 27-13. The Saints I could see scoring a lot more points. I could also see them scoring a lot less points, though I do think the Saints will win, and I'm fairly certain they will cover the 10-point spread in that game. But that'll do it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, and I will see you in the next episode or next video. Adios.